Hello, comrade, and hello to Arstozka. Alright, that's enough. Alright, so we're gonna be doing a bit of a fictional mapping video. I mean, it's not a bit, it's clearly freaking fake, but you know. So this is gonna be, so if you played the game Papers, Please, you would know all the expansion and you know all the countries and stuff. And Arstozka is the main one, and they're bitter about losing the war. So after a while they rebuild their army and then launch a war. No nuclear bombs will be used, obviously. So first, they want to start their advance into Kolechia because tensions have always been high. So they start their small advance into Kolechia. Now I don't really know where any I I know the capitals are official, but it's just kind of hard to remember because fictional. But what I do know is that the Arstotzkian capital is around, I'd say, a good spot to place it at is around right here. It might be bigger, it might be around here, so I'd say that's a good spot to put it. But I don't know where the other countries' capitals are, so frick. So if we can pull up this map, we can see some of the stuff. So as you can see, there's a dividement between East and West Gredston, whatever the frick. So I'd say it'd be a good place to put the capitals right here. So with both capitals being very exposed, Arstotska decides, once they finish their encirclement down here, to send some troops down to the line to help to take the capital, and also to defend their capital. So with this, Arstotskan troops start surrounding the capital. And they don't surround their own capital. That would be stupid. So after they do it, they close in onto West Greston. They then push up and connect with the armies, causing a bigger line and taking out the rest of the encircled troops, and they continue their push up. So now with the main city being captured, they then decide that they're going to try to push over to around Vendor. So with this, they converge their troops and hit Hor right here, and they also continue to build on the line, taking out more Kolechian troops. They then cause multiple encircling movements, which go very well, and then they connect with the other armies. So now Kalechi is in a bit of a pickle right now, because the big cities being captured isn't really something that you want. Another Arstotskian army also decides to start making advances into Vendor, with a massive spearhead. This is the main front, but they're both evenly supplied, and they do eventually start getting closer and closer to Vendor. They encircle the city, and Kolechia surrenders. So the peace treaties that Arstotska is going to offer aren't very nice, because Arstotska is very bitter, so they offer total annexation, and they also take all Kolechians and migrate all Kolechian citizens into different countries, such as Orbistan and United Federation, being the two main ones, because Arstotska isn't too kind to Kolechian extremists, especially. So now we have a massive border expansion in Arstotska, and now they're going to take out Republia. Republia and Integria could see where this was coming, though, so they all decide to form an alliance against Arstotska. So Arstotska is going to be doing the same thing and trying to take major cities. They first go after Baston, which is around right here, and they easily start encircling it. They then capture some more troops and keep their push up. They then send out another front in order to go capture Saint Marmaro, which is around here. So they send in troops through there and they capture the city. They then start sending down more troops to connect with the other army, and they're able to do so successfully. So Integrity and Republia are in a bit of a situation right now, but Import is starting to make advances into Arstotska, and they're able to take out some Arstotskian forces. So now we have a very weird border gore situation right here, and as some Arstotskian troops start to follow the importing troops, they go for an encirclement tactic, but it's eventually broken by a re-encirclement, which is very weird, and they start to fortify along their kind of place situations, and it's looking very weird. Um, the Arstotskians are able to eventually cut them down, though, and the front line is established right here after freeing some troops. Um, the other countries to have a mild pushback, but it's not going too well. So Arstotska calls on a good friend, United Federation. It's also during this time that Cobra is able to break away from Arstotska, and they are able to get these borders. So as we can see, it seems like that Georgie's dreams have finally come true, and now Korbistan is a real country, or Cobristan, I should say. So after one of the greatest things in human history has happened, Arstotska can continue its push after causing encirclement right here, and they have success, and they're getting even closer to Baston. Um, they then send in some spearheads while also fortifying the rest of it, and then the Battle of Baston happens. So let's get a bit of a. So as we can see, Baston is right here, and Arstotska is going to be slowly approaching it. They fortify their lines, and they encircle more troops. Baston is reached, and it's starting to be closed in on. With Baston is completely encircled, but they're holding out as Rostutska keeps pushing down. So now with this, Republia decides to gather their troops and go for a freement of the capital, and it actually goes very well. And they even encircle some more Stutzkian troops, but they're able to hold out. And then after two more encirclements, followed by Spearhead cutting off other ones, these are all able to hold out as they push further into Arstotska recapturing territory. So now Arstotska is getting kind of worried because it seems like their plans aren't going too well until the United Federation finally decides that it's a good time to join in. Um, so with this, they instantly go after Impor, and they set up a massive front line along their entire borders. This also includes Republia and Integria. Integria is having the most victories, though, even though they're getting lots of land taken, because Arstotska is mainly sending their assault into Integria. And the reason why they're doing this so well is because, if you don't know, Integria is National Socialist, aka Nazis. So, they have a lot of pride in defending the homeland. So they're able to take out some United Federation troops as well as Arstodian troops, and they almost completely wipe out the 52nd Tank Division. United Federation and Arstotska decide to make a massive push in, hoping in collapsing the countries. Arstotska retakes Baston and keeps pushing through, and then they're able to take Saint Marmaret, which causes Integrity to start to collapse. With this, United Federation and Arstotska squeeze in from all sides. They connect over here and they start pushing troops, Emporian troops, out of Arstotska, and they go with an upwards push, helping out the spearhead continue through. With this, Integria is completely surrounded, being the only country left. And even as as well as starting to close in, they hold out till the very end, but it's eventually wiped out. So with this, if we can do as many reverses as possible, and we don't want to wipe out Cobra, saying what the frick is wrong with me, we're going to be seeing some more border changes. Cobristan is temporarily recaptured, because they want to actually rebuild a little bit. So now we're gonna have the split up between all these countries, Arstotska and the United Federation. Arstotska completely takes integrity and ships all of its people to Opristan, and they both decide to divide up Republia, which leads to some very weird borders, but it looks alright for the meantime. That is. Um, how the frick did I do that? Wow.